you got your first flat tire. It's one of the most common challenges that cyclists face. Doesn't mean you've done anything wrong, and they're easy to fix. First thing that we want to do is pull up our brake release. That loosens our brake calipers and makes the wheel able to fall out. Then loosen the quick release and drop the wheel out of the forks. If your flat is on the rear tire, it's a little more complicated to get the rear wheel out. Quick tip to make it a little easier is that if the chain is in the smallest cog, it will come out of the frame a little easier. So we're going to shift into the smallest cog. Loosen our quick release. Release the brake. Put that in the up position, the lever on the brakes. And you just want to pick up the frame. The wheel should drop out. You might have to move your derailleur a little bit to get it out of there smoothly. Now that we have the wheel off the bike, we can start changing the tube. In order to do this, we need a tire lever, a spare tube, and a portable pump. These are all things that you're going to want to carry with you when you go out for a ride. First thing you want to do is take the valve cap off of the valve stem, put it somewhere safe so that you don't lose it. Use the end of your tire lever to make sure that all of the air is out of the punctured tube. Do that to make it easier to get the tube out of the rim. Next thing that you want to do is use the curved side of the tire lever, insert it between the rim of the wheel and the bead of the tire, push up and down until the bead comes over the top of the rim. Okay, now that we have the bead over the top of the rim, you just want to slide the tire lever all the way around. Some tires are stiffer than others, until the entire bead has come off of the rim. Next thing you want to do is pull the old tube out. When you get to the valve stem, simply pull it up and just pull the stem out of the hole in the rim and discard your punctured tube. Tip to make sure that once you install your new tube, it does not go flat, is to take your punctured tube, check to see if there's any holes in it. And once you find a hole, if you find a hole, line the valve up with the hole in the rim, and that would tell you about where on the tire something sharp may have punctured your tube. And that will give you a clue as to what might be in the rim that would have caused your tube to go flat. I like to check the entire rim for sharp objects before I install a new tube. Okay, there are two types of valves that inner tubes can come with. This is called a Schrader valve, and this is called a Presta valve. Presta valves have a little nut on the end that you have to unscrew to insert air. You just want to make sure that whatever pump you have accommodates the types of tubes that you use. Before we install the new tube, we're going to put a little bit of air in it to give it some shape and make it more round and circular. That makes it easier to install the new tube into the wheel. So we want to put a little bit of air in our new tube, give it some shape before we install it into the rim. Okay, now we just want to put the stem of the tube through the hole in the rim. Then just start working the tube into the tire all the way around. Just take your time here. Make sure that you're not pinching the new tube against the rim of the wheel, because that can cause a puncture also. So once we have the tube and the new tube in, we just want to start working the bead back up and over the rim. Just take your time, work your way around. Okay. The closer you get to the end, the more resistance it's going to give you. That's normal. Okay, in most cases you can just use your hands all the way around, but sometimes you have to use your tire lever once you get to the end to get the bead of the tire correctly seated on the rim. Okay, once you have the tire back onto the rim, you just want to pinch it in and make sure that none of the tube is forced its way between the rim and the bead of the tire. That can also cause a flat once you reinflate. Okay, once you have the tube inflated, you just want to give it a quick inspection. Make sure that everything has seated correctly. Reinstall the valve cap. Make sure that the cogs are lined up with the chain. Again, you might have to move the rear derailleur a little bit. Slip it back into the proper position with the frame fixed on the quick release. Tighten our quick release, again so that it leaves an indentation on the palm of our hand. Do not forget to close your brake release. Okay, we're ready to put the wheel back into the frame. Just make sure that you install it with the rotational direction of the tire in the correct direction. Just want to place the forks back onto the quick release. Tighten up our quick release. You'll know that it's the correct snugness when you tighten it and it leaves an indentation on the palm of your hand. Okay, we want to make sure that our brakes are in the closed position. Give the wheel a quick spin to make sure everything's working correctly, and enjoy the rest of your ride.